Well, hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm your host, Carmen Milagro, and this is From the Ground Up. What is an entrepreneur artist, a certified CBD consultant, a master certified CBD wellness coach, author and instructor of Truths About Hemp CBD, and co founder of CBD University doing here, hosting this show? Well, we all start somewhere. And usually, in whatever career you're in, most people start from the ground up. But regardless of where you start, the point is, how do you do it when you do start? How do you navigate the challenges of being an entrepreneur? How do you avoid making mistakes? Can you avoid making mistakes? Anyway, on this show, we invite a variety of experts first to hear their stories. We ask advice, we learn from them, and hopefully we're inspired by them too. I'm fortunate, I'm lucky. I get to speak and learn from some of the world's best and most successful people in all arenas, from all walks of life. And we talk about all kinds of things: life, family, business, hope, career, wellness, whatever comes up. Some of my guests have been journalists, authors, musicians, tech gurus, an occasional celebrity or two, and some, like today's guest, are a combination of coach, branding and marketing expert, and photographer. Camille Garick has over a decade of multimedia experience, marketing, film, and photography, as well as commercial event and stage production expertise. Not only that, she's also a master certified life coach herself, and I know this firsthand because that's how we met. All of this combined experience has not only allowed her to have a successful career, but also allows her to explore her own creativity and passions as an entrepreneur, which has led her to become the CEO of expandiTV, which we'll discuss for sure. Her superpower is constantly moving, wrangling creative energies, and managing chaotic environments. And she thrives in being on the forefront of innovation of the media and marketing industries. I'd like to welcome to the show Camille Garick. Camille,
Hey.
how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are
Good.
you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Before we get into the nitty gritty of the details, usually I think, when I have a guest that I'm super excited about, which I am, I want to sort of make that connection for everyone. And I want to thank you for creating Expand ITV because it really affects the entire coaching industry in a way that I don't think has ever been done before. And you're kind of turning this upside down a little bit. So, for me, from my perspective, I wanted to thank you first for that, for
Oh,
having this vision. But I also think, as my business partner said to you, you're also democratizing something that you're bringing it to everyone.
mhm.
And so I think this is something that we should celebrate and congratulate you on.
Oh, you're so kind. You are so kind. But I have always enjoyed turning things upside down. So it's kind of like wrangling chaos. I
Right?
organize chaos. So and I kind of like turning it up on its head a little bit.
Yeah, so that makes sense, right? So let's let's go into a little bit more detail and,
Mhm.
like our viewers and our listeners, I think I want to sort of get to know my guests on a little bit of a personal level. So if you don't mind, why don't you share with us what was 20-year-old Camille Garrick like and who did she want to become?
20-year-old Camille Garick, I believe, wanted to become now Camille Garick. It has yeah, it has
Mhm.
been a process and a journey, not always smooth, but the journey has been the thing, and I don't regret anything, that 20-year-old Camille did. But but,
Wait, that sounds like there's some stories there. For another time, for another time.
for another time, a longer show segment. Um, But yeah, I think that 20-year-old Camille was working her way to Camille now, and I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Oh, that's wonderful. I don't, you don't hear that response to that type of question that often. So thank you. I love it because, well, we're going to fast forward now, of course, because, you're the CEO of expandiTV. How did you come up for the idea of expandiTV, and what is it for those that don't know?
For those who don't know, they're about to find out in a very big way. expandiTV is a streaming network, media network like Netflix, video on demand, but it features life coaches in different areas so that the life coaches can bring their expertise to a viewer audience, and the coaches' businesses, they're able to expand and help the general viewing public expand, because I really believe that a lot of problems that go on in our society is from a lack of focus and clarity, and a coach can do that. You don't have to see doctors or take medicine. I have nothing against that.
Sure.
Need medicine and need doctors, great. But a coach sometimes can give you that clarity, that focus, that accountability to get you moving forward in your life, especially when you feel stuck.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. But you probably knew that. What what are what are the two lessons that you learned while creating this platform, while you were, working out all the details, right? I mean, obviously you have an idea
Mhm.
and it starts blossoming and taking root, and we all go through this, I think, as entrepreneurs. But what were the two main lessons that you learned in the creation of this new idea?
The two main lessons I think that I have learned is that one, it's never too late. It is never too late to decide that you are going to live the life that you were supposed to live from 20-year-old self.
Beautiful.
It's never too late, and you can start anywhere. It would be great if you started when you were young, but at my age, you can start there and you can develop a whole new act. You're an actress, you know that. A whole nother act. That was the first lesson. And the second lesson that I have learned from developing this is that um, I guess the most important thing is that I'm proud of this. Like I have, I was proud of my child.
Yes.
I was proud of my husband. And now I am proud of this. It's like a whole new child. And I love it.
Yes. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, this is so, of course, everyone uses the word empowering and all, but it really is to hear this. And this is why I do this show, is to share these stories, and these little bits of insight from different people's perspectives. Aside from the lessons, could you share with us maybe one of the challenges, right? As an entrepreneur, as a coach, as someone building your business, there's always challenges. What was the hardest one in the creation of this new entity that you're creating?
The hardest challenge was overcoming the self-sabotage, the doubt,
Sure.
and sitting with the knowing that this was the right thing to do at the right time, and that this was truly needed, almost let that doubt, because it was a knowing that
Sure.
this is the right thing to do. And so the self-doubt totally just, it has faded away. It has reared its head every
Sure.
now and again, but that was I think the second biggest thing is that being a woman, an older woman in this new tech space, you're not really taken that seriously.
Correct.
And so you kind of have to just stand firm in your knowing, raise your eyebrows, mhm, and get what you need done because some people don't take you very seriously, like web developers.
Right.
And they think, okay, she's broken out of the nursing home somewhere, and they kind of dismiss you a little bit, and you just have to go, no, this is what I want. This is when I want it by, and that's what I need, and that's what I expect.
Right.
That's what I expect.
That's great. That line right there, that's what I expect is
Mhm.
definitely something that I have used myself and on many occasions because you're right. Sometimes we as women in general are overlooked and dismissed. But then, you hit that certain age where you not only are dismissed, but you're just invisible.
Right.
So some of us that aren't used to being invisible had to figure out a way to not be that. But one of the things you said, and I don't want to lose this, is you said stand firm
Mhm.
in your knowing.
And
I
you're
love that because,
and
oh,
yes.
sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry.
I was just gonna because when we stand firm in our knowing, it actually also helps us become visible again because we're using our age
Mhm.
to accentuate our wisdom.
Mhm.
Would you say that?
And absolutely, absolutely. And a lot of that comes, and I have an exercise for your viewers to do
Great.
because a lot of people do not realize what the knowing feels like. And when you sit in silence, first thing in the morning when you get up and you sit in silence and it's dark outside and you know the sun is going to come up in just a few hours.
Right.
There is this feeling, and you can feel it. It's a knowing in your solar plexus right here.
Yeah.
It's a knowing. I know the sun's going to come up. That that is your indication that you are on the right track. You know what you're talking about. You can trust yourself. It doesn't matter if anybody else doesn't trust you. You can trust yourself. And that is the most important thing in going out into any endeavor.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you. You have so beautifully articulated this. I am definitely going to go back to this and remind myself when I need this. Thank you. um, you're getting, and I can see like this is all, I've known you for a while now, but I can see now, this is what I love about these conversations because there's information that comes out in these discussions that we wouldn't normally maybe go down these paths. But what I'm hearing you say with what we just talked about, stand in your knowing, and then the creation of Expand ITV, you know, you talk about the art of engaging with people, just like what you did with, we're having this conversation and you just gave this nugget away to our viewers and our listeners for this exercise. But what's the difference between an audience and an engaged community?
Well, in marketing, and I know a lot of business owners have been obsessed with building an audience. And in building an audience, you are taking something in your business. You can map it any way you like. I'll just use, like coaching. They will take, you'll take a post, you will post the social media, then people like it or they follow it or they share it. But you can see a trend in marketing,
Right.
I guess, moving towards, and this is so important for your viewers. is that if you have a business and you are wanting it to grow, then you're going to have to go into the community engagement building phase. And that means that you need to start actually engaging with your followers or your clients. There needs to be, it's a mutual of exchanging value. You are giving them something in return. They are building a community with you and your brand and with each other.
Right.
And so ideas are able to flow. It builds brand loyalty. It keeps them coming back because they don't, no one wants to leave a community where their best friends are hanging out
Right.
in your brand.
Right. And and I think what's really important about what you just said, it sounds rather simple, except for the fact that the social medias out there, that's not their intention.
No.
So their algorithms, and I know I'm oversimplifying things, that I like to do that because that's how I understand things, right? So correct me if I'm wrong, but the way that I have understood this is that the reason you're not able to build your communities like you thought you were going to be able to do on the socials is because the algorithms are not designed to do that for you. Is that correct? Is that a fair statement?
That is correct. But you are also able to, you can build community anywhere on any platform.
Mhm.
So it doesn't have to be Facebook. It doesn't, you can build your community, have a membership, have a paid membership, um, to be able to sell and to build community
Right.
with your client base because you want to keep um, those clients with you, and there's got to be an engagement.
Engaged, right, exact I mean, it's that idea where you can have 5,000 friends on a platform, but they never see what you're posting, what you're sharing, what you want them to hear from you. They never see it, so how are they going to engage,
Right,
right?
right. And so that's why the engagement also goes not only to social media, is that there has to be an email outreach.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, there needs to be birthday cards sent. Or if someone has a pet that dies, I heard about this, or something like that. You need
Right.
to be engaging with people.
It's sort of, I mean, this is something that you and I, in our day, that's what we used to do. I still have my birthday book, all my friends and my family that I'm closest to. And I do forget. That's why I have this book. And every day, just like my calendar, it reminds me whose birthday's coming up. I
Mhm.
I try to do my best to send the cards or to text or whatever, and I'm not always successful, but back in the day, that's what we did. We
Mhm.
did send out cards and, handwritten notes. And I miss those days personally.
Well, and I just got back from a sales conference in Arizona, and I think myself and another woman in a room of 75 people were the only ones that had business cards.
Yeah.
And one of the little guys told me, he was like, "Oh, they're going old school." I was like, "Yeah," because
Mhm.
it matters. Yeah, you can say, "Oh yeah, I'll follow you on Instagram," but they may not ever see you again. Or how do you remember who's following you or you're following? And
Right.
there's, so, but
I
with a card,
I agree.
they've got my name, they're going to find it, next month in their purse
Right.
or in their pocket when they go to wash their jacket or something, you know.
I know, and we're probably like, I'm sure, eyes are rolling, and but
I know.
it's I know I think there is a very healthy combination of all of this with technology and old school practices. It is whatever works for each person, and what's going to make you memorable at the end of the day. Like you said, I have found someone's card in another purse, and I thought, oh my gosh, I never reached out to her.
I need to do that.
Exactly. So,
Exactly.
it's whatever works for you. To those of you watching and listening, it's really at the end of the day, whatever works for you. We're just sharing some insights here.
Well,
Um,
sharing insights, but it's also very important if you are an older businesswoman like myself, is that you surround yourself with younger people because they will tell you what is trending, what's
yes,
not trending, how to
uh,
do,
agree.
certain things. I love them.
I know.
I
I
really do.
agree. And sometimes I really, really enjoy the younger energy anyway. So,
Exactly.
Camille, you often say, um, be an aspirational leader by encouraging connection.
Mhm.
What are the strategies that can be used to unify a community around an aspirational identity? How do you do that?
Well, you have to look at your clients. They have an aspirational identity, what they want, what they desire, who they really want to be. A lot of frustration in people comes from what I have found in most people. It comes from anger and frustration come from people not doing their heart's desire. They have led a life that they were told to lead, and then they become frustrated and angry. So you want to encourage transformation. You want to encourage community, and this is the way you do this with people. This is just a little thing. When you're having a webinar in Zoom, let's say, and what you do is while you're waiting for everyone to get there, is that you say, everybody put in your Instagram handles. Okay, now take the person that is above you in the comment section. Now go to Instagram, follow them, and send them a direct message, which I think is brilliant because you are reaching out, you're having your community reach out so they know each other. They can help keep each other accountable because as a coach, sometimes being the aspirational leader can burn you out if you're the only person they're coming to. And so you need to get everyone involved. It helps with accountability. It helps with people not falling through the cracks. They don't feel like they're falling through the cracks and they feel like they belong.
That's excellent. It's just, yeah, I've got nothing more to add. And that's unusual. Thank you for that. And it's funny because I do usually I end my show with, this idea that I have that I believe in. I mean, transformational success, it starts from the inside out and from the ground up. And it's about making changes where sometimes, it's a difficult area or you don't want to, or you're stuck. All these different reasons why transformation is important. For me, it's almost I feel like that's what really keeps me young, to be honest, is I've never been one to be like I don't like getting stuck in routine. And I'm just breaking this down to a simple explanation. But I just feel like sometimes that transformation is an arduous, difficult, where do I start kind of thing. And so a lot of times people don't. And they do remain stuck and they have habits that they've accumulated, especially, at different ages and for different reasons. But in your opinion, uh, how does focusing on the transformation, how does that empower people to find the solutions to live a better life?
When they focus on transformation,
Mhm.
because again, with the knowing, they know they're supposed to be living differently. People need to take responsibility for their happiness and their transformation. And when you decide that this is not the life I want to live, I want to live another life and I'm going to do it. And once you make that decision, because people hem haw and it makes it worse. Once you decide, that's all it takes. You choose to live differently. You choose. And in choosing to live differently, transformation, you are opened up to all the possibilities that are available to you.
I love that. As you were speaking, I sort of, I love to garden and I love to give people examples that maybe might resonate for them in a different way. And I always think about, you have this beautiful potted plant and it will grow to a certain level. You're taking care of it, you're giving it nutrition and water and sunlight and all of that. But until you transplant it, it can only get to a certain level.
Mhm.
I think we as humans are sort of the same way. And sometimes you have to uproot and, put yourself in another situation or another location or another career or whatever it is before that continuation happens.
And your guidance, you are born with a guidance system, and your guidance system of what makes you happy, what brings you pleasure, what makes you proud of yourself. That is your guidance system.
I
When something does not feel right or is negative, there's an issue with that. There is something there that you need to let go of, because you need to be happy. We are part of the animal. We're at the top tier of the animal kingdom, right? But and we can aspire to so much more. And you never want to squander the
right.
growth and the expansion. And never love
Yes.
life and expand.
Yes. That was good. That was good. Camille, I know for a fact you have another interview to do. So I want to be mindful of our time together. But I have a couple more questions, if you don't mind, before we sign off. In your opinion, why is coaching so valuable?
Coaching is so valuable because it is a safe zone. A professional coach knows what they can help you with. If it is something that they can't help you with, they can point you in the right direction of getting professional help. A professional coach is accountability to keep you on track. And a professional coach will guide and, you know, help you see other options of things that you can do, because you may have a goal and you can only see one way to that goal. And the coach says, "You know what? That is a way to that goal. Does that make you feel good? Or this is also the way to the goal. How would that feel? Or this way." But they let you decide, because in the long run, it is your choice.
Right. I love that. Thank you. Um, I've heard it said, actually from a few different people for different reasons, but I've heard it said that coaching is for the rich.
Ah, see, and that's why I developed expandiTV, to show people, to expose them that you can relate to a coach, you can get personalized service if you like. All you have to do is reach out to them. You also It is available. And that's the thing about Expandi. We're going to be showing different programs. And if you need extra help, you can get extra help. If you're help just on one episode, that works. That's great. But coaching can be an affordable, focused, clear path to what you want in life.
And again, congratulations and thank you for creating expandiTV. I have to say it again because this is just, it's so mind blowing because I have heard from so many different people, oh, I can't afford a coach. I'm like, but you need one. Not me necessarily, because I do specific things. So I'm not just trying to say, hey, oh, you need a coach, hire me. I'm just not that kind of person.
Right.
But I do feel like sometimes, as a friend, I don't always have the answers for my friend.
Right.
But I do know someone who would be able to help them. But there's all this sort of, I'm going to equate it to, 20, 25 years ago when there was a big, I feel like there was a big stigma about getting therapy or going to see a therapist. I feel like there's something very similar with the coaching industry. On one side of the coin, the other side of the coin that I feel is there's an awful lot of coaches out there right now. It's a very saturated industry.
And
And
it's
how do
getting
you,
more, yeah.
right? And how do you find quality coaches too?
Right, right. And like with expandiTV, we are curating the coaches. It's not just any coach
Right.
or coaches. They are curated and they are vetted to make sure that they are the right fit for their category, because we do have 9 different categories that people are able to choose from, but they don't just have to choose a category. That sounded kind of confusing. They can look at everything, but we
Sure.
do have them because coaches have expertises. They excel in one area, and so you want to make sure that you're choosing a coach that is has an expertise in what help that you are needing.
Right.
Because a lot of coaches, if they interview you and they find that it's not a good fit, they will recommend you to another coach.
Right. And I think I'm going to sort of dive in just a little bit deeper too, because I think it's also the way that I see this. Like I have multiple coaches for different things. But it was a process and it took a while to find all these different coaches by going into all these different arenas and all of that. What I love about the idea when I first heard you explain expandiTV to me was that, oh, wait a minute, I can build my team of coaches
Mhm.
right from this. Like I have a starting place now where a lot of people, that is the easiest thing to do, to build their team of coaches. They can go right to one platform, expandiTV.
Exactly.
That's what
Exactly.
I again, I just thank you for sharing this with me way back when we were in class together, because I thought, oh my gosh, I've just met the most brilliant woman I've ever met.
And I thought the same thing about you.
Oh, well, thank you. And here we are. Oh, so before I let you go, Camille, what has been the biggest motivation, the driving factor? Like you said, there's a lot of people in a lot of women in our phase of life that have so much to offer and they have so much to knowledge and wisdom and experience, um, but they don't know what to do with all of that. Like what, for me, I guess, is the way that I see what you're creating and what you're building is this this tool, this curated platform of information that could really help not just women, but for all intents and purposes, for right now, like what's your greatest motivation behind this project?
My greatest motivation was that there are a lot of great coaches that do not get attention. They don't do the business that they should be doing. And there are a lot of people out there that could use a really good coach to improve their lives or whatever they're working on. And so my greatest motivation was that to bring these together is going to help the women or men in the coaching industry. Women don't get as much attention as men in the coaching industry, but it's going to bring a lot of clarity. It's going to better a lot of people in their lives and their goal setting and what they want to do. And even if you don't have time to have a coach, because not only
Right.
people say expensive, it takes time
It
because
does.
you have to take the time out. You can do this anytime, anywhere because it's on Apple TV, Roku, Android TV, it's everywhere. Mobile apps, television, everywhere.
Love it.
So you can do it anytime.
Right. I love it. Thank you so much, Camille. And I know you're busy. So before we go, not only are you a great coach, because I feel like I've just been coached. So thank you for that. There's so many nuggets that are in this time that we just spent together that, okay, I needed to be reminded of that, or oh, I hadn't thought of it that way. So thank you again for everything. Is there a way that people can connect with you? And is there a final piece of advice that you would like to share with our viewers and our listeners?
The final piece of advice I would like to share with everyone is that you are fine the way you are. And a little focus, a little clarity, it will do you some good. But you're fine where you are. And you can start from anywhere. You can start from anywhere and be who you are meant to be because only you know who you're meant to be. And people can reach us very soon. The channel will be launching, and that is expandi .tv.
Great.
And if you need to go to the website, it is expanditv.com. More
Perfect.
information.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for your time, Camille. I really appreciate it. I'm going to let you go. Thank you again for just
Bye, everybody.
everything. Thank you so much. And
Love
I'll
Celtics.
see you soon.
Bye.
Thank you, Camille. And thank you all. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. I hope you got as much insight and as much, sometimes you need that person to say just the right thing that makes you feel better and helps you have a better day. That's just what happened to me today. I am so grateful to have Camille Garick in my life. I can't wait for you all to see and experience what she's created, expandiTV. Check it out. And, once again, I think that one of the things that I love about this show is meeting these incredibly talented, kind people who lead with their heart, and their businesses are actually making a difference, a positive impact on people's lives. That's what I love to celebrate. That's what I love to talk about. So hopefully, you get to experience some knowledge from these experts that inspire you and help you get to the next level, whatever that is. And I wish you a healthy, beautiful life as you're building your wealth and taking care of your family. I don't think that there's any reason why we can't do this and lead with our hearts. That's it for today. I'm Carmen Milagro. This is From the Ground Up. And as usual, it's been sponsored by Divina. And I hope to see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.